this storm really took us in a different direction. We were bracing for flooding. Instead, we got battered by winds, which then paralyzed the tri-state as we see this morning.
Yeah, boy, did it. Emergency Management Commissioner Deanne Criswell joins us now this morning with an overview of the damage across the 5 boroughs. Commissioner Criswell, thank you for being with us. I know that we talked to you on Monday, right? I'm sure you haven't had a whole lot of sleep since then, been busy with all of it. But our focus was not the water, but not the wind at that time. But the wind is really what did most of the damage here. What area in particular was hardest hit?
Yeah, what we saw was that the track of the storm actually shifted a little bit to the west, which means that the strongest winds from Isaias came right over New York City. And so from that, we saw a lot of downed trees and power outages. And mostly those power outages are right now seen in Queens, in Brooklyn, in Staten Island, and then the trees as well. Queens has really been the hardest hit from this, and mostly because of those overhead power lines.
So, Commissioner, we had Con Edison on just a short time ago, and they said to get the power up and running for folks, it could take days, and they're really relying on team efforts with the city to clear some of the trees that were down those branches. So is that your responsibility, and how long can we see until some of those are removed?
Yeah, we've had over 16,000 service requests for downed trees, which I think is the most that we've ever had in the city. And we activated let's see, today's Wednesday. So on Monday, we activated our down tree task force, and they have been out in full force since yesterday, beginning to remove those trees. And it's led by our Parks Department, but it has multiple city agencies. We had contracts in place to bring in extra crews to help remove trees. And we've also requested some assistance from the state so we can get these trees moved as quickly as possible.
Yeah, on that front, though, residents in the Parkchester and Wakefield sections of the Bronx, they've reached out to us, in fact, saying that they haven't seen any crews coming to clear down trees in those areas. So when can you expect them to see folks in there helping remove those trees?
Again, with over 16,000 service requests, what we did through the night last night was prioritize and put a map together of where the most critical areas are, those that are going to pose the most life-threatening situation. And those are the ones we're going to focus on throughout the day today. And that also includes those that will help us restore as much power as quickly as possible. And then we'll be able to expand beyond that, but really focusing on those trees that are posing the most significant life threat.
What area is that? Can you give us an idea?
I haven't seen the map and what we're going to be doing today, but again, the biggest impact was in Queens, and so I would expect that the majority of that's going to happen in the Queens area, but it will be across all 5 boroughs.
Right. And so, yesterday we talked a little bit to you about, combining this with a pandemic. So when you look at that and you combine that, how many crews are you able to put out at one time compared to maybe post-Sandy when you had a lot more crews out as well? So give me a little of a juxtaposition of the numbers there of what you were able to do post-Sandy to now because we're in a pandemic.
We have so many downed trees that we want to bring in as many crews as we actually can to help remove these trees. And we are taking all of the general precautions that we need to do with face coverings and hand sanitizer and keeping social distancing so we can operate in a safe environment. But we're going to bring in more crews, as many as we need to in order to clear these trees.
Hey, quickly, as folks are waiting for those crews to get into their area, the city's 311 line was inundated with calls for downed trees and power lines. Is there another option for residents to report damage?
They can call 311. They can go to the app to report them as well on 311. That's the best way for people to get into the system.
All right, Commissioner Criswell, thank you for your time this morning. I know it's been a long 24 hours for you, but the real work is now after the storm, getting everybody back up and running.
Correct.
Thank you for your time this morning.
Best of luck to you.
Right, thank you. Have a great day. Stay safe.
You too.